Hello and welcome back to another Hola Prime educational video. My name is Christopher Lewis. In this video, I'll be talking about something called Fibonacci. Now, Fibonacci is a mathematical theorem property that was discovered in the 1200s, and without getting too far into the weeds on the mathematics of it, essentially, you take a sequence of numbers, 1 plus 1 equals 2, 1 plus 2 equals 3, 2 plus 3 equals 5, 3 plus 5 equals 8, and so on, and you begin to see patterns repeat themselves in nature. There are several Fibonacci tools that can be used, but in this case we'll be talking about the most common one, and that's the Fibonacci retracement. The whole power of Fibonacci is based on the idea that certain ratios of pullbacks or movement in nature tend to repeat themselves. So for example, you can predict crop growth via Fibonacci in certain flowers and plants, just as you can use Fibonacci to describe the way that rivers twist and turn, mountains rise and fall, and it's even been proven that something called the golden ratio, which is 61.8% or 161.8% of ratio of distance, is considered to be the most commonly thought of as beautiful human face. Again, I don't want to get too far into the weeds with this because Fibonacci mathematics itself could be an entire course. But what happened was, over the years, people started to look into Fibonacci on charts and they started to know some correlations. And that being said, I would caution you to rely too much just on Fibonacci. It's just another tool, that's all it is. And in fact, one of the most common Fibonacci retracement levels that you'll see quoted is the 50% Fibonacci retracement level, which ironically isn't actually a Fibonacci number or ratio. So there you have it. But nonetheless, the markets, at least a certain part of the markets, pays attention to if a move has pulled back 38.2%, a Fibonacci number, 50%, a not Fibonacci number, or 61.8%, another Fibonacci number. The main reason for the 50%, of course, is that was just an old tried and true theory on Wall Street. So a lot of people just include it in their Fibonacci numbers, although technically it's not the same thing. The idea is that you are trying to join a move that has already taken off. So for example, if price rises over the next several days and then pulls back 38.2%, you might be looking for a bounce there to join the longer term trend. And I will show that on the charts and show you how it's used and how it can help with other tools, which at the end of the day is the most important part. Okay, so I have a Bitcoin daily chart in front of you, and it does have the 50-day EMA moving average and the 200-day EMA moving average on the chart, but we want to pay attention to how do we use Fibonacci? Well, you need to understand the swing high and the swing low. So you will have a Fibonacci tool on your platform. In this case, I'm demonstrating here on TradingView, and Fib retracement is what I would use. You have a swing low, the lowest point on the chart before it started to go higher, and then a swing high up here where we pulled back from. Now you click and you drag, and this is what you get. Now, I would also point out that there are multiple Fibonacci retracement levels that you could get involved in. So, for example, when you click on style, it shows you the 23.6, the 78.6, the 1.61, etc. So, most traders will focus on 38.2, 50%, and 61.8%. So for this demonstration, that's what I'll be using. That doesn't necessarily mean that you can't use the 23 percent Fibonacci retracement, but what it does suggest is that it's not, I think, as widely followed. I think that's what you'll find over time. The 78.6 isn't as widely followed either. Occasionally, you'll have a guru out there that will talk about 23.6 being the way, or 72 or 61% being the way, which is the golden mean. That's the one that most mathematical theorems are based on. But 78.6 is the key. Sometimes they'll talk about that. The reality is, this is a tool, nothing more, nothing less. Now, you'll notice on this Fibonacci retracement of this huge move on Bitcoin, we dropped to the 50%. Again, not really a Fibonacci number, formed a massive hammer, and then broke above the 200-day EMA. See, all of that together is interesting to me. The fact that it hit the 50% Fibonacci retracement level, I mean, it's not that it doesn't matter. It's just that by itself, I don't know that it matters. There will be a certain amount of people who are longer term investors, for example, who would say, I really want to own Bitcoin. So it's dropped about 50% from its high. So maybe it's time to start buying. And you can see that that in fact has ended up being an entry point. A lot of times what you'll see is traders will aim for that high again. So do keep that in mind. So let's go ahead and take a look at another market, and therefore another example. Let's do the London 100 or the FTSE 100. And you'll see that I have the 50-day and the 200-day EMA there. And you'll notice there was a swing low here, which is essentially 8,000. It had tested that several times. So if you were a Fibonacci trader, you would wait to see if this does in fact end up being the top and we pull back. And notice at 38.2%, we have the 8,500 level right at an area that was previously a swing high. So there could be market memory support there. So that might be an area I would be interested in. But you also can see that it's very likely that we could continue higher, so we haven't sorted that out yet. This could be one of those situations where the 23.6 Fibonacci retracement level was useful. And therein lies the problem. You don't really know what level it's going to be. So what you're looking for, essentially, is a level, a previous resistance area that should now be support, and then price action. It's a 1, 2, 3 combination. In this case, you could even go so far to say that if we pulled back to 38.2%, there's the 50-day EMA in that neighborhood as well. It does work in both directions. So, for example, the Swiss franc against the Japanese yen, you can see was swinging all over the place. And this was the latest swing high. So as we broke lower, notice how we bounced the 38.2% Fibonacci retracement level and then fell. We formed a shooting star right there as well, which of course is something that might have captured your attention. And then of course we have an area that's been somewhat important. I don't, would I call it a major resistance barrier? Maybe not, but it's certainly an area where something's going on. And you can see we have tested the lows again. So I think at this point, you can see the entry side of it. Now, sometimes people will also use them as targets or ways to move stop losses. So let me find another chart and we can talk about that. So the Australian dollar, US dollar has been falling rather precipitously. You can see that we hit the 38.2% Fibonacci retracement area and then kept falling. But what if you are looking for a target? So we turned back around. Now notice that 6,200 is not the bottom, but it is an area of importance. So you can do something along the lines of combining Fibonacci and previous support and resistance levels. So for example, if you decided to short up in this area, right around 6,400 or 0.6400. You could then start to use Fibonacci levels as places to put stops. Notice how we broke down well below the 23.6 level. You could put your stop loss there, and you could be aiming for the lows again. Or if we end up breaking down below there, maybe put your stop just above the 0% Fibonacci retracement level. So there are a multitude of ways to look at this, and there are a million different ways to use Fibonacci. I would, however, caution you against doing anything crazy with them, mainly because they are somewhat subjective, because I've seen people do things like double and triple Fibonacci's. So they'll take a move, for example, they'll take this move and they'll say, okay, that was a swing high. We bounced from there. We hit the 38.2, but that then, as we broke down, became a swing high. And then they'll put a Fibonacci on, and then they'll find some place like this where we bounced from, and then they'll start talking about this was the 0 and it's the 38.2 on this other Fibonacci retracement sequence, and so on. It does get a little convoluted. At the end of the day, what you're looking for is Fibonacci to be an area that looks like it could be support or resistance, and then a reaction to it. And then that way it doesn't matter if it's magic of Fibonacci or if it's just support or resistance. If support and resistance is what we're looking for to trade off of anyway, if we get a Fibonacci level on top of that, it just brings the Fibonacci traders right along. You must think of trading as a confluence of events. There are people who are religious about Fibonacci, and they will be involved at that level. There are people who are religious about moving averages, and they will be involved at that level. And then there's people who are religious about large, round, psychologically important figures, and they will be involved. So if you have all three of those groups of traders involved, it increases your likelihood of being profitable. Now, there are other Fibonacci tools, but the Fibonacci retracement is hands down the one that's used most. Probably 97% of Fibonacci talk that you hear is going to be about Fibonacci retracements.